Back, tech gurus and newbies. Today we're gonna study how to add basic buttons to our Flutter applications. Today we're gonna include the buttons right in the middle of columns. So if you don't know how to create columns and rows, it's in our previous video. We recommend you to check out that video as well. Good. So let's get started. So as you can see, we have the app bar in the scaffold, and we have the center widget in the body, and then a child of column. So inside the column we have a children, and those children are going to be the button because we want the button to display in the column format. Okay, good. So let's get started. Okay, so in the column we have children. So one of the children will be our first test button, that is test button. Yes, good. And on the test button, it takes these parameters, like we need to have the onPress function in order for it to work well, and also other child like a test. Good. So let's say this should look like this. We're gonna leave this onPress empty, but it should be a function. Yes, but no, this first and then this second, like this, then we leave it empty. Okay, good. This can be at the bottom or at the top, however you want to keep it, but let me keep this one here. Okay, inside, but it should be here inside this one, so make sure these are really taken care of. Okay, so child, the first child will be a test, since it's a test button, so we need to add the test on it, the child test, and then we will have this test. The test will simply say this is a test button. Very easy. Test button. Good. And then I bring a comma here. Okay, so after that we can add some styling to this test, but probably we will only look at the color of the test. Then we have a lot of different properties you can add to the test on your test button. So let's look at how to add the styling. First, you need to type the word style, and with the style we will have we need to call the test button as the name implies, again, test button. Then dot style from, we select dot style from. Then in the style from we can have a lot of properties here. When you look, you can see a lot of things you can do to style your button. Good, but we only gonna look at a very simple one, that is the primary color, that is the color of the test. That's what we'll look in this today, so you can add the others as well. Okay, so to style the color of the test we need to use primary, and primary will take parameter of color. Yes, colors dot. Let's use a deep orange for that. Okay, good, deep orange. Okay, so I want to save this. I want to save this. Okay, good. So after I save, you can see on the screen that we have what? This is a test button. Okay, let's add the next major button, and that it's gonna be ElevatedButton. We should know that we have an old version of ElevatedButton called the RaisedButton. It's no longer being used, so make sure that you always use ElevatedButton instead of RaisedButton. So as the name implies, ElevatedButton, yes, and it also has the onPress. So this is onPress function, and then a child. So this can be a test. So normally I like to always keep this beneath. Just make sure it's in the parentheses. Yeah, I always want to keep this beneath like this. Yes. Then let's, okay, let me leave it like this. I just want to show you how it works. So let me say I leave it like this, and then the child should be a test. Good. And for the test, we'll have a string in here that is for the data string, and then we say this is elevated 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 button, right? Sorry, elevated button. Okay, good. So for this, we're gonna add some style to this as well. Yeah, we're gonna add some style to this. So what style are we gonna add? Style. Let's see. Okay, the style we're gonna add, we need to also call elevated button as the name implies. You see, the first one we called test button, but here we call what? Elevated button. That style from. All right, make sure you follow this. And then here we also have a but first okay, elevated button. Elevated button. Good. Then I need to add the style. The style, let's look at adding the primary color of the text. The primary color of the text, and also probably we'll add the on primary as well. So this also have a lot of parameters we can add here, and this will also take colors, and colors will be the deep, let me still use the deep orange here as well. Okay, then we can also have the on primary. On primary is when you press the button, the color that displays like an animation. Yeah, so this, let's use black here. Good. Yeah, we use black for this. Okay, and since it's an elevated button, we can add elevation property as well. But before that, let me see. Okay, we have elevate, elevate. Okay, we have this. Okay, we have this here. This one is where here. Okay, this is here. Okay, I forgot to bring a comma here. Okay, that was why. Good. So I save. Okay, now you can see we have this is elevated button, but we have applied the style, but still it's black. Nothing is happening here. Why? Let me see. I press, nothing happens. Why? Because the onPress function is not added. So this, it's just plain. So it's just showing this in the button. It doesn't really look puffy. Yeah, so that is why I intentionally took off the onPress, just for you to see that you need to always add this for it to function well. Good. Even though you can leave it blank function without performing any special stuff, but you need to keep it there. Okay, so here we have this. Okay, make sure we close this one. Okay, let me close this. elevated button. Okay, and then a comma, comma here. Okay, so let's try. All right, boom. So now all the properties we added is working. We added the deep orange color here and also the text here. So when I press this, you can see the black color displaying on top of the deep orange. So I unleash. So this is on primary. On primary means when you press the button, that is what it shows. And this is the primary color, that is the button color, deep orange. And also this is the text right on it. But we can keep this a bit bigger by using, making the raise a bit, a bit curvy and a bit puffy. To do that, we need to add this property called the same elevation. Yeah, so you can keep the elevation, yeah, using a simple number to, yeah, so you can see, you can just play with the numbers, but basically you see this looks really bold, and you can see how thick the elevated button is. Yeah, so yeah, you can see some form of shadow around it. Yeah, so that is some of the properties for the elevated button. You have a lot you can do with this, the unpressed long and all that, so you can add all those ones as well. Okay, now let's jump to the next button, and that is the last one for this tutorial. It's called the outline button. Yes, good. We have the unpress, okay, unpress down here, and then we're gonna have the child as well, just like we did to the other buttons. The child, and the child will be what? Text, and text will have a string, and the string will be the name of the button. So we say this is what? This is outline button. Yes, let's keep it this way. Good. And then let's add a style to this. The styling, should we even add a style to this? Well, to add a styling to this, you can also add a lot of what? A lot of parameters, as you can see when you hover your mouse upon it. So let's leave this just like this. But remember, you need to keep your function blank because it will perform an action in the future. Okay, good. So okay, so I save. Boom. So so let's save this, and then we will see this. So as you can see, we have the outline button here, we have the elevated button, and then we have the test button. Peace, we out. If you like this video, kindly subscribe and then hit the notification bell to get our new and latest videos we'll be uploading. All right, see ya.